Hi guys, I wanted to come on here real quick again, trying to get some of these quick messages out, mainly because I've been feeling for a long time, actually for a few years now, that if and whenever it's my time to not be here, on this earth, that I want my boys to be able to hit play and listen to their mama speak. Now, my boys have been born into a very rich family, a family of very strong women around them, especially my mother. My mother is very strong. My grandmother was a very strong woman, very strong. And her mother was very strong. From the stories that she told me, that she was voted in their whole town to write the letters against Mussolini in Italy, things like that. So I come from women who are very communicative, good at communicating. My mother is very good at teaching. She's a good teacher, very good, very creative woman, So this is my creative way of sharing little truths and things that I have learned along the way, that I want my boys, and really anybody, but especially my boys, to be able to hit play and listen to their mom speak, right? Because we never know when is our last day. And this is something I experienced when I lost my first husband. When he left. He was just gone. And I wish I had more video. And though I have a lot of video, I wish I had more, right? So this is kind of where this project is actually coming from, where it's stemming from. But I always have a lot of words and things inside of me anyway, and I always want to get them out. Now, the older I get, and I've come to understand now that my mom used to say something like, well, God told her. We would say things like Jehovah said, whatever. People would think we were crazy, right? No, we're not. And I'm the same way. I feel maybe it is a gift. I think it is a gift of clear thinking, clear cognizance thinking, that Jehovah God can, speak to people. I now realize other people call this downloads. In our family, we just called it Jehovah said. Jehovah was talking to us, right? So I get a lot of downloads, okay? You might call it a download, okay? In any case, I really have come to understand that this has really been happening my whole life. But sometimes I listen and sometimes I don't. When I do listen, things go right, right? When I don't listen, boy, do I suffer or do I learn a lesson? So I want to talk about something that something that has happened to me especially over this past 2 years or so, or at least it's something that I started to notice more. Okay, and it's something called projection. Okay, so it's called projection. I'm going to read it here in psychology. What it means. Now, you can look this up. I'm not a psychologist, right? But you can definitely look this up. You can definitely do your own research, right? But this is something that I've definitely experienced in a lot of people over this past couple of years for whatever reason. I feel like I've been targeted. But this projection it refers to a defense mechanism where an individual unconsciously attributes their own thoughts, feelings, or behaviors, often negative or unacceptable to themselves, onto another person, especially blaming others for their own internal issues. It's a way of denying personal responsibility by seeing one's own flaws reflected in someone else. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're dealing with, maybe you're at work and you have a woman who's jealous of you, okay? For whatever reason, she's jealous and she doesn't like you or whatnot. And she can't really find anything bad about you, but she wants to think evil of you, right? And maybe you're just too pretty. Maybe she thinks you're pretty or whatever, and she doesn't like that either. And so, she herself has had maybe hard times with men, issues with men being honest with her or men being faithful to her. And she, maybe she has experienced a lot of different men, basically. And men have called her a hoe, or men have called her a hussy or a prostitute, sleazy or whatever, right? And though inside of herself she may not, or she may reject that thinking, on the outside or whatnot, but on the inside, she might be internalizing it, right? Because she's having these situations come up. And then she sees someone like you and, or like myself, for example, and she'll just, instead of addressing whatever it is she doesn't really like about you or whatever the case is actually going on, she'll project onto you, well, you must be a hoe. Well, you must be a hussy. You must be a streetwalker. You must have to suck men's whatever to get what you want. You must have to blah, blah, blah. Because look at you. You can't have it all. Or you can't be like this. You can't be that great at your job. Or you can't be the right? But what she goes to that conclusion so fast. Why? It is a projection. It's what's called projection. It's because it's her fear inside of her. Or maybe it is something that she is dealing with. Maybe she does get around or whatever. But in any case, it's what's going on the inside of her that's deep down inside, right? Her own flaws that she perceives her own flaws to be, she's projecting them, boom, onto somebody else. And it's like, let me project that over there so nobody sees who I really am. So nobody sees that I really am this person. I'll give you another example. Let's say maybe somebody is going to call you crazy, like you are let me see, like you're gonna go after somebody, like what do they say, there is like fatal attraction, right? Like they think, oh, because let's say for example you you like to communicate and you make phone calls or whatnot or whatever, and this other person over here, they've never experienced that type of communication. And because on the inside of them, they're having psychotic thoughts. Maybe they think they would go to some crazy extremes to be with somebody. We've heard of those scenarios of people who put diapers on to go travel 12 states or whatever to go kill somebody or whatever. These people, right, that have gone through these extremes to keep a man, right? Like, it's psychotic on so many levels, right? But then they see somebody else that might say hi or have to send a text or something, and right away they're like, oh, you're fatal attraction, you're gonna come, you're acting like this, you're acting like that, and it's because of their own thoughts on the inside of them. They want to project that out onto you as a woman, right? Men do this too. Men absolutely do this. I had a man call me Satan the devil. He literally looked at me in the face and called me Satan the devil for watching the news. For watching the news. Okay. Again, for some unknown reasons, people will take things that are on the inside of themselves, that are going on inside of their mind or whatever, their deepest, darkest thoughts or whatever, and project it onto somebody else, so that way it's like, hey, I'm not that way, it's you. Now, the Bible, and I'm not here to preach to you, okay? I'm not a preacher. Well, I'm a testifier, for sure. I testify about my God. But I'm not over here a minister or preacher in that way, right? Like I don't, have some church or something. But I want to read this scripture in particular, and I'm reading from my Bible over here, okay? And you can read this for yourself. But this is in Proverbs 12. If you start out, you can start out around 16. Okay. It says, a fool immediately shows his annoyance. A fool will immediately show annoyance. But the shrewd man overlooks an insult. Shrewd, meaning somebody who is smart, wise. They'll overlook an insult. They may overlook it a few times, actually. The one who testifies faithfully will tell the truth, but a false witness speaks deceit. Thoughtless speech, this is verse 18. Thoughtless speech is like the stabs of a sword. So your mouth, right? Your mouth, what you project onto others, your projections, they can stab. They can hurt. Okay? Your mouth can stab and cause these pains. And it says, but the tongue of the wise one is healing. So one who is wise, his speech will be healing. It'll feel like a healing to your soul. Truthful lips will endure forever. This is verse 19. But a lying tongue will last only for a moment. Only for a moment. They'll get to have their glory for a moment. This is what's written. So this is what is. Okay, these are universal laws. This is in Proverbs. I don't care if you're a believer or if you're not. On this channel, I am a definite believer. And I'm not here to be politically correct with anybody. So if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you don't believe in the Bible, this is not the channel for you. But even if you don't believe, it doesn't matter. These are universal truths because Jehovah created us. These are universal truths. So the lying tongue says, but a lying tongue will last only for a moment. Deceit is in the heart of those who plot mischief, but those who promote peace have joy. And that's what I want to really talk about right there. That I had just was meditating on this, and this is what made me come on. It's because I was just meditating on this scripture, right? This is where I'm definitely at in my life right now. Peace. Okay, peace. Not only do I seek peace, I am peace. And if you don't bring me peace, then you have an expiration in my life, right? Because I am no longer entertaining anybody who does not have peace, who does not bring peace. So those who promote, it says, but those who promote peace have joy. Peace brings you joy. You can be joyful when you have peace. Peace. And this is why I pray for peace. I pray for peace every single day. I pray for peace. I pray for peace on my enemies, or anybody who is a perceived enemy, or anybody who is an enemy that I don't know that they're an enemy. I don't even know them, right? I still pray for them to have peace. Peace in their situation, peace inside of themselves, right? So they can overcome whatever challenges that they're overcoming, right? The next scripture, or the next one was, no harm will befall the righteous one, but the wicked one will have their fill of calamity. Fill of calamity. Lying lips are detestable to Jehovah, but those acting faithfully bring pleasure to him. Sometimes when people project, they know they're lying, right? And sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't know. And this is where the shrewd one comes in. When you're shrewd, you can overlook that insult. You can overlook it a few times because you're like, you know what? They just don't know. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know that what they're saying, how they're acting right now is in what they call their shadow self, their dark side. You can only pray for peace. But if you're shrewd, right, you don't necessarily speak back right away, or you don't need to speak at all. You might pray for them and you might leave the situation. You might leave quietly. You might have to leave quietly, or whatever you need to do to get out of that situation, right? Because if you're shrewd, you're going to know. You're going to know that that person there who is plotting mischief is going to have calamity. They're going to have calamity in their life, and that's not going to bring me peace. That's not going to bring me peace. I need to exit the situation, right? So I want my boys, especially as they get older, to really be able to evaluate situations, people, and ask yourself, are they projecting onto me? What are they projecting onto me? Are they projecting their fears? Is this person lying? Is this person plotting? Have I already caught this person in a lie against me? Okay. I want my boys to go back to this scripture and be okay with the fact that that person is not going to have any peace in their life. And if I associate with them, or if I tie myself to them, if I start a business with them, if I get married to them, if I, buy a car with them, if I do this, that, and the third with them, I'm not going to have no peace. It's going to take away my peace. And I'm saying this because I feel that my son, I love my boys, and I both were on a similar journey this year. We were on a similar journey this year, the two of us, dealing with some extreme cases of narcissists and narcissism. Some people are true narcissism, and some people just exhibit signs of narcissism. And hey, we are all imperfect, and we have all had times in our life they were not our shining moments, right? I certainly myself, I got reprimanded so many times. I can remember my dad telling me, oh, I got reprimanded so many times for my tongue because I can have a sharp tongue. Oh, and I feel like Jehovah himself had to really sit my butt down many times. And I had to bring it back, take it back, tone it down. Hold on.